Good morning, it's Feedback Friday, and today we're talking about the importance of a new perspective. So gorgeous welcome. Those of you who haven't met me before, just a quick overview. I'm Cheryl Andrews. I'm also known as the Listening Detective, and I'm all about helping you get what you want. So basically, I want you to be able to do more of what you love and ditch that critic that says you can't. So those of you who've been watching this week's series, I've been talking on live at 12 o'clock every day this week. And one of the things I was talking about on Monday is my first day back after a 10-day break. And I felt absolutely awful. Good morning, whoever's with me. Please pop a comment below as we're chatting. Let me know who you are. And I felt really tired. I felt really exhausted. And so if you've ever done that, you've been on holiday and then you come back and you feel like you need another one. And I was like, oh my gosh, this isn't going to work. And here I am now on Friday and I'm full of beans and I've had probably one of the busiest weeks ever. And we have got lots going on at home. So with the minute I finish work, we're doing DIY projects and problem solving, and we've had all sorts of stuff going on. However, I would like to share with you today what it is that's changed. And I want to invite you to do the same. So one of the things that happens when we get stuck, when we're not getting what we want, or people know the three things for the ultimate do, delegate, ditch system. You need to have clarity of what you want. So what I wanted was to have more energy and feel better. You have to have confidence in the process. You need to know what works for you to get from where you are now to where you want to be. And often, if you don't know, you're going to need to be able to ask for help or learn something new. And you need to change the way that you give, receive, and invite feedback in order to do that. But what often happens is we go searching outside, asking everybody else for their perspective, what works for them, what do they do? And what often is the last thing people do, and I really want to encourage you to do this for yourself, is to actually think about what works for you. So if you think about the last time this happened, and think about what happened for it, what was the process you went through. So one of the things that and also listening to what your own inner critic is saying, listening to how you're talking to yourself and about yourself. So one of the things I caught myself saying to my husband and also muttering to myself is that I felt trapped in this corner. And so this flip chart stand was around here to try and stop this reflection of the window, and basically I was stuck in a corner without any sunlight and I felt trapped by it. So basically my new perspective is that I've stood up. By putting this board here, I don't know if you can see it, but I'm covering up my progress board over there. That might be a bit distracting. I'm also making it possible that, as you can see, my hat if I stand in front of the whiteboard. But basically, I've just given myself a bit more space in order to physically work, but also when presenting. It's given me space that when I'm on the networking meetings, I can switch between standing, or I can move to my kneeling chair here and I can sit down if I need to. And that change of perspective, that ability to, one, stand up while I'm presenting, and two, be able to see out and see the trees and see the sunshine, and has made a massive difference. So one of the things I want to talk to you today about is clean space. It's another form of listening to yourself, but it's recognizing that when we move physical spaces, we can get new information about the same thing. So David Grove was the founder of this process. There's also a book, very great book, called Insights into Space by Marion Way and James Lawley that I highly recommend you have a look at. But I want to give you the essence of it right now. Is effectively, if you're stuck with a problem, a question that you could ask yourself is, first of all, what would you like to have happen? Get clarity of what you want. Notice whether you're talking about what you don't want or what you do want, but just get a statement of what you don't want. What you do want. Then, if you don't have confidence you don't know how to get from where you are now to where you want to be, ask yourself this question. Find a space that knows something else about what happens in between where you are now and where you want to be. And then physically go to that space. And when you're in that space, ask yourself, what do you know now here about that? And write down what you learn and what you know. And you may want to name that space. So what's that space called? And then you could find another space that knows something else about getting from here to here. And when you physically move, your brain, because even if you couldn't physically move here, like let's say the answer to that question is a space that knows something else about that is the Bahamas, and you cannot physically go there right now, then what you can do is create a proxy space, or you may even go there metaphorically. However, I highly, highly recommend that where possible, you physically move. Because often when we're feeling stuck, we're overwhelmed or frustrated, the sense is we're stuck here. So another thing that I've done this week that I've just remembered is that when I've been doing my website updates, instead of staying in this place, I've gone and taken my laptop into the living room where there's the only other space in the house that's clear. The other thing that I've done is that there were 2 other spaces that I could possibly go to, and they were a bit... We moved everything from this room into those rooms so we could get the renovations done. And what I've done, I think it was yesterday morning, had a big declutter and put loads of stuff back in the shed that didn't need to be there, put some stuff back in bags ready to go to the charity shop, put those in the boot, move things around so that I actually had a living room that was actually felt more restful. And then my indoor-outdoor space was again clear to sit outside. So by asking these questions, I actually cleared more spaces where I could go and work, so that I might be doing my Zoom calls here live, but I could take my laptop and sit somewhere else to work on presenting. I've even put a box over there now that I can stand on, and I can actually use that in order to present and do things differently. So thinking about this, if you are interested, I have got a recording on YouTube. It's actually listed as unlisted because I give it out to my clients on the Do Delegate or Ditch course as part of their program when they're doing the time and space course. So if you'd like to have a link to that, please put a comment below and I'll send it to you in Messenger. But I have got a whole recording of actually mapping out spaces and going through. So you'll have me in your ear asking you the questions that would help you get that new perspective. So that's my top tip for today. Please, when you need a new perspective, don't forget to check in with yourself first before going to ask everybody else about their perspective, because often all you'll do is add to your overwhelm if you do that. And so I'm going to finish today, as I have all week, just to say to people, if you don't yet know, we've got the 7-day Makeup and Motivator starting on the 19th of April. This is the last one for 6 months before actually you can do it on Pay It Forward. So it's normally $197 per month. However, you this month can actually choose what you pay. So you can pay anything. I don't mind how much you pay. I recommend a minimum of 20 because I do send you a physical copy of my book, but I'm really not bothered. What I want to do is reach those people who are feeling overwhelmed, frustrated and stuck and do not have the support right now to get the clarity of what they want and the confidence to make it, because I want you to get what you want. So if you are interested in that, I'll pop the link in I think I've got it here ready. Let's just ping that to you now. So if you haven't done that, just be aware that it's going back up to full price with effect from the May one, and probably as well for the next 2 will be at full price. So this is the last one this year where you can get it won't be this year. I just can't remember the date. There's another one towards the end of the year, October, November, that will be on a Pay It Forward. But right now, this is the last chance to get it at the Pay It Forward discounted rates where you choose your price. So please check it out. If you want some support and you want tips, I'll be with you every day next week for an hour, sharing stuff and asking you questions. So that leaves me to think about. Please share below. It's Feedback Friday. What's worked for you? So what's worked for me is clearing out some spaces. What's worked for me is standing up and not being trapped in this corner. What's worked for me is knowing I've got 7-day Make It Happen Motivator, and we have at least 5 people now booked on there ready to go next week, and I know that they're going to make a massive difference to the world when they can get what they want. So what's working for you? Please share in the comments below. What's not gone so well for you perhaps, and what could work better? And please let me know if you'd like a link to the Clean Language, Clean Space program, and I'll send you that privately as well. Whoever's on live with me today, thank you for joining me. It always is appreciated when I get to see gorgeous people and interact with people rather than just talking to myself. Speak to you soon. Have a great weekend.